Hi, welcome back. So this is where we left off, right? This animation here where we are looking at momentum-based gradient descent, and we saw that it is faster at convergence as compared to gradient descent, but we are a bit worried about these oscillations around the minima, right? Where it overshoots and then comes back. And what I would like to do now is see if we could address this issue, right? So that's what we'll start with, and in doing so, we will talk about Nesterov Accelerated Gradient Descent, right? So that's sorry, yeah. So that's the first topic for today. So let's see. So what's the question that we have? We have the following question in mind: that can we do something to reduce the oscillations that we saw in momentum-based gradient descent? And as usual, the answer is yes, we can do it, and we look at Nesterov Accelerated Gradient Descent. Right? And the intuition behind this is quite simple, right? It just like one phrase to summarize it as this: just look before you leap, right? So let's see what that means. So remember that in momentum-based gradient descent, this is what the update term was, right? And it has two parts. It has the history part and it also has the current derivative, right? And this current derivative was computed using the current ways, right? That means you can compute the derivative of the loss function. You got a formula which had w, and then for that w you substituted the value of wt, right? Whatever was your current weight value at this iteration, right? Now notice that you're going to do change the weight by two quantities, right? This is the first quantity and this is the second quantity. And this quantity you already know because this is just a collection of the history. So you already know what this quantity is, right? Then why don't you do the following, that you update the weight by this quantity first, right? And let me just change the color. Yeah. So why don't you update the weight by this quantity first? So I've updated by one of the two parts, right? There was two parts to the updated. You have one updated by one part, you have moved somewhere. Now there, compute the gradient because you've already made some updates. So now compute the derivative at that point and then move in the direction opposite to the derivative, right? So what you're saying is that I was here and you're asking me to move by two parts, which is just compressed into one single update ut. So why don't I move by one part first and then compute the derivative here at this value of the weight as opposed to computing the derivative at this value of the weight, right? Because this is what my current value is, right? So let's see what that turns out to be in terms of the equation, and then I'll also give you another visual illustration of this, right? So let's see. So we know that we are going to move by at least this quantity and then a bit more by this quantity. That's what I just said. So why not make use of this and look ahead instead of relying on the current gradient, right? So that's what this means. So once I explain the update rule, maybe it will make sense. If not, I'll still try to draw one more visual which will make it clear, right? So this is what ut is in the case of nag, and notice that what we are doing now is that instead of the momentum equation where we had delta wt, instead of wt I'm using the partially updated value of the weight, right? So I've already updated by this quantity and I'm using that and computing the derivative at that value, right? So remember this symbol here means derivative of the loss function with respect to w evaluated at whatever is inside the bracket, right? And earlier inside the bracket we had wt. Now we are saying instead of wt we'll evaluate it at the partially updated value, which is the wt value minus the history which I have already moved by, right? So I'm already looking ahead and then checking the derivative at that point, and then my final update is just going to be the same as usual, that this is the quantity by which I want to update ut. So I'll just move in the direction opposite to that, right? So that's what my final update would be, and you'll have similar equations as usual for b also. Okay, good. So this ut here again accounts for the history as well as the looked ahead gradient as opposed to the gradient at wt itself. Okay. So now first let's look at, or let me just try to, let me just see what I want to do next. Okay. So now instead of showing you the, okay, so now let me just give you a more visual illustration of what the momentum, what the NAG or Nesterov Accelerated Gradient Descent is trying to do, right? So suppose this is what my loss function is, okay, and say this is my W axis, right? So this is what my weight axis is, and say I started off with some value of W naught, okay. Let me just extend this, okay, and say this was the loss that I had, right? So this is the loss. So this is my loss curve, right? So this curve that you see here is L of W, and I started off with some value of W, and this is what my loss was. So I computed my gradient here, right, which would be the slope of this curve, and that I'm storing it in this running variable history, right? So my history is accumulating, and say based on the derivative of the first time step, because the history is 0 at that point, this is the update I made, right? And I moved to some value W1, right? And then again at this point, I compute the derivative, and that gets added to my history. So my history is accumulating, and now hopefully I'll start moving fast. So maybe I came here, right? And this is where I am, right? And at this point, again I compute the derivative, right? And then I'm going to update by the history, which was all of this that had happened so far, right? All the updates that I had made so far. So that ut, beta times ut rather, let me just write it again. Yeah, beta times ut minus 1, all the history up to this point, and plus I would compute the derivative at this value. I am at W2 right now, so I'll compute the derivative here, and the history was asking me to move in this direction because all the way I'm going down, and now this slope is also, this slope is negative, and I'm going to move in the direction opposite to the slope, so I'm going to move in the positive direction. So on the W number line, this is the positive direction, right? So here you have say 0, here are all the negative numbers, and here are all the positive numbers. So my slope is currently negative, right? This slope is negative because at this point, as W is increasing, my value of the loss is decreasing, right? So then I'm going to move in the direction opposite of negative, which means I'm going to move in the positive direction. So my ut is asking me to move in the positive direction, and my current derivative is also asking me to move in the positive direction. So hence I'll end up taking a large step in the positive direction and maybe end up here, right? So this is where my new W would be, okay. Instead, what NAG is saying, right? And let me just change the color now. Now what NAG is saying is that, okay, you are currently at W2, okay. Don't compute the derivative here. You already know that you need to move by this history amount, right, which is beta ut minus 1, and the history is asking you to move in the positive direction. Why don't you make that movement first, right? So I move by that amount, and maybe I end up here, right? So remember, this was history plus the derivative at this point, but now I've only moved by the history, so I've only partially moved. Now once you reach there, compute the derivative at that point, right? And now you can see if I compute the derivative at this point, then my derivative, my slope is now positive, because as in this region, right? So this is positive because as my W is increasing, my loss is also increasing, right? So this is a positive slope. So that means I'll be asked to go in this direction, right? And then instead of ending up very farther away from the minima, I would end up somewhere here effectively, right? Because I've already moved by the history and then I've come back. So my effective update after this step is one step, right? So this is what my effective W3 is going to be, right? As opposed to the W3 in the case of NAG, which was much far, in the case of momentum, which was much farther away, right? So that is what is happening, that instead of computing the derivative here, you just move a bit by the history, because you anyways have to do that, compute the derivative there, and then whatever that derivative says, you make the second part according to that derivative as opposed to this derivative, right? So let me again change the colors. So you take the second part according to the derivative here as opposed to the derivative which was the value of, at that value of W in the previous iteration, right? So that's what NAG does, and now I think this should illustrate why it is beneficial, right? Because you're already making an update and then checking, hey, whether I offshoot, whether I was already out, I mean away from the minima, I have crossed the minima. If so, then I should go back instead of continuing further, right? So that's what nag is doing. Okay, so with that intuition now, let's try to check what happens when we run this, right? So we are going to run this. Again, I've written the code for nag. You can take a look at it offline. I'll not spend much time on it, but it's simple that you have initialized it, you have computed the maintaining the running history, right? Then you are computing the gradient at the partially updated values, right? And you are using that gradient to move then instead of the gradient computed at the current value of w, right? You are moving partially and then computing it. You can take a look at it at leisure. It's not so important. Okay, so now let's see how things go, right? So on this graph, I'm going to run both momentum based gradient descent and Nesterov accelerated gradient descent, and you can already see the difference, right? So what has happened here is the momentum based curve, which was the blue curve, it took a long U-turn, right? Whereas the nag, because it had already looked ahead and it had realized that, hey, I'm overshooting it, it did not go the full distance and took a shorter turn, right? It quickly turned because it realized after looking ahead that, hey, I'm already in a bad place, so I should not go further by the gradient at the current value, but whatever the gradient at this value is, this partially updated value is saying I should move that way, right? So you can see throughout this figure, the oscillations for nag are shorter than the oscillations for the momentum based gradient descent, right? It's quickly correcting itself, whereas momentum is just going further. It's taking a longer time to realize, hey, I've made a mistake, and then it has to come back from here, whereas nag is making a partial update, realizing it has made a mistake, and then just turning back from there, right? And this, the difference between the two curves in this region should actually oops, actually I can't use the pen on the video. That's a bad thing. Yeah. So the distance between nag and momentum in this region, right, tells you what the story is, that nag is turning quickly as opposed to momentum based gradient descent, and that quick turn is because of looking ahead, right? Okay. So these are the observations. So looking ahead helps nag in correcting its course quicker than momentum based gradient descent, and hence the oscillations are smaller and chances of escaping the minima value are also smaller, right? Because it was momentum based gradient, it was entering it very fast, and then it was relying on the gradient at this point, right, which was very high, and then crossing it, whereas nag will first make a partial update. It will realize, hey, I'm crossing the valley already, hence it will come back and not go all the way out of the valley, right? So that's the main takeaway. Okay, so that's about nag. So I'll end that module and I'll come back and talk about stochastic and mini batch versions of these algorithms.